for the 20th time against Carl Williams. Let's go to ringside. Here's Marvin Purdy.
Thank you, Dick. Of the psychological warfare taking place between the champion Larry Holmes and Carl the Truth Williams. Scoring on the 10-point must system. Mandatory 8 count in effect, no standing 8. 3 knockdown rule not in effect. The bell will not save the fighter except in the final round. Carl Williams' strategy against Holmes. He feels Holmes won't go to the body. So he says he's more concerned about putting what he calls a fence around his head, looking to block Holmes' rights with his forearms. Ball starts as Mills Lane. Now we're underway for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Larry running right out there. Right off the bat, you can see as they were warming up, Carl the Truth Williams is dripping with perspiration. Means he warmed up good. Nice stiff jab to open the bout. Audience can see almost right off the bat they're mirror images of each other. They look alike. One looking like a very young version of the other.
And Carl Williams with that long reach at 85 inches. Holmes at 81.
Holmes looking to go to the body with that jab. Carl standing right in front of him, not giving him side-to-side movement, standing in front and out-jabbing Larry Holmes, which in the opening minutes is some kind of feat because Larry's very good at the beginning. Good, strong right hand by Holmes. And that's what Carl gets for getting too close to that powerful right hand of the champion, Larry Holmes.
Carl Williams has had a history of right hand injuries, although he says that right hand is just fine.
There's nothing wrong with his left. He is out jabbing Larry Holmes at the beginning of this round.
Major question about Williams is the chin. That is why he roundhouse attempt by Williams, and then the combination. That is why Williams says he wants to protect his head. He was knocked down twice in the first round of his last bout by James Tillis, and then went on to win the decision over Tillis.
He's confident he can out-jab Larry now, and he's standing right in front of him, which could be a mistake because Larry can fire that right hand very sharply over the extended left jab of Carl the Truth Williams.
Less than a minute left in this opening round, and Williams getting the left jab in.
Much faster, and they're landing, forcing Larry to go back. Larry showing a little frustration and exasperation at that jab going in there as if to say, come on, let's rumble here. The young man, not losing his composure, certainly has and appears to have the confidence that we spoke of at the top of the show, and not giving Larry respect.
That right hand by Williams grazing Holmes, and he is hitting pay dirt with the left jab. So a solid first round offering by the younger man, Carl the Truth Williams, scoring with the left jab. We'll be back right after these words. Back in Reno, Marv Albert, Ferdy Pacheco, and Ferdy, the last primetime fight that NBC televised at this point, we were into replays with Holmes stopping Marvis Frazier in round one. So a good start here from that point of view.
You had to remind me of Carl the Truth Williams stood. Oh, good right hand by Holmes. That's
the first telling blow landed by Holmes as Williams continues to get that left jab in. Carl Williams standing throughout the rest period between rounds 1 and 2 as if to send a message to Holmes that he feels very fine.
But he's standing right straight in front of Larry Holmes. He has not attempted any lateral movement, and he certainly stopped jabbing. That right hand made him stop jabbing. That's a mistake.
Larry Holmes looking to get that right hand in. He almost did a moment ago with a very nifty combination.
Larry's trying to finish this with a cocked right hand, but that one right hand landed and did not seem to faze Carl the Truth Williams, but it did stop him from jabbing. Made him think about it. trying too hard. Ed is in a hurry. Not going back to his boxing and his basics. He's just trying too hard to put Carl the Truth Williams out. Truth getting a little cocky because he's outspeeding Larry Holmes. You have to go all the way back to the Witherspoon fight to see somebody out-jab Larry Holmes. Holmes looking a little bit confused.
But we are very early. And Carl Williams, to this point, has been able to paint the face of Holmes with that left hand. Crowd reacting to the combination.
What you're seeing here is the speed and reflex of a young man against the slowed down reflexes of an older and more experienced fighter.
As you can see in the lower right-hand corner, that is running time, and we will stay with the clock right throughout. 2:35 into the second round.
Boy, Larry wants to throw that right hand so bad.
Combination by Williams.
Champ getting a little frustrated and exasperated through two amateurish punches.
Final seconds. Second round, and another strong one for the Truth. And this is round 3. Carl Williams, in only his 17th professional bout. He's 16-0, 12 by knockout, going up against the man who is 47-0. And again, a reminder, we are very early, but Williams has been taking the fight to the champion to this point.
And won the first 2 rounds, unofficially on my scorecard, with an exceptionally fast jab and smart combinations, which seemed to have the champion a little confused. Larry has got to go back to the basics. He can't look for that big right hand. He is looking for the big right hand. It's not going to land that way. He's got to get his jab going. There he goes. And now comes the right.
And he has that right hand cocked and ready to go. Holmes does come off one of his better performances in his last bout against David Bay.
Ooh.
And that time Holmes nearly landed with the counter.
Whoa, 2 cannon shots by both men and both missed. Larry not convinced that he can't land that right hand. He's still doing it this round.
Oh, Williams continues to snap the jab on Holmes as we hit the halfway point of round 3.
Now, if he had movement with that jab and could get away from the right hand, he's got something going for him. He's got to have that movement so that Larry can't time the left hand and cross with the right.
There's the Holmes jab.
Holmes jab is going to be followed by the Holmes right, because that's what the jab is for.
Less than a minute left. Round 3. Holmes did get a right hand in.
But took a terrible shot to the body in exchange.
Holmes, to this point, having difficulty getting to the bigger man Williams. Pawing away.
That's why he didn't want to fight a big man. He has continuously said he wanted to fight a smaller, lighter man. And this just came up. Uh-oh, blood on the left eye of Carl the Truth Williams. A small trickle of blood. Holmes getting a little closer and down to business. Good cut, man, in the corner of Williams in Eddie Aliano, so that should be no problem.
Final seconds of this third round, scheduled for 15. And we'll be back in 30 seconds. Back to the corner of Carl Williams. A look at that long left jab of Carl the Truth Williams, a jab that has been compared to the jab of Larry Holmes, snapping the head back of Holmes as we check out the corner of Williams.
No, it stays right in. Let him fall right out.
Get that stuff out of there.
It's okay.
What was Mills Lane angry about, saying get that stuff out of there?
He wants that coagulant out of Carla Truth Williams' eye. They put what looked like a boulder dam there of white stuff, a coagulant that Carmine Graziano says that stays there. And the bell rang and solved that problem. It stayed.
This is round 4, scheduled for 15. Larry Holmes defending his heavyweight title against Carl Williams, and has been having his problems with that jab of Williams doubling up.
Holmes reaching for the ropes, a sure sign when he's hurt. Holmes reaches over for the ropes. Carla Truth Williams begins these rounds in fantastic fashion, but then he sort of winds down as Holmes starts to close.
And the crowd chanting for the truth. The crowd looking to the underdog as Williams continues to back up Holmes. And now a chant of Larry for Larry Holmes.
Truth keeping the pressure on, although he slows down as the round progresses. If he could put together a 3-minute round of pressure, Larry would begin to feel that he's got to do something dramatic to change this around.
Now Holmes landing with that left jab. Williams continues to force the action.
What Carla Truth is doing is feinting Holmes. Holmes is going for the feint. If he had more experience, as he did just then, if he had more experience, he would be landing even more solidly than he does. Larry is going for every fake.
Good counter by Holmes, and Williams shakes his head as if to say, you didn't hurt me, and comes right back. Approaching 20 seconds remaining.
Oh, a thumb. He got thumbed. The Truth Williams got thumbed. Now Larry crosses the right hand.
Final seconds, 4th round.
Hi, I'm Kenny.
Once again, repairs over the left eye of Carl Williams between rounds as we get underway here in round number 5.
The repairs on what looks like a nasty little cut. The injury was the thumb, and as Mills Lane came over to complain about the substance being put on, Carmine said, yeah, but make him close his hand when he jabs. He's thumbing. We've seen Larry Holmes do that his entire career.
And referee Mills Lane separating these two big heavyweights. Carl the Truth Williams, 25 years old, born in West Palm Beach, Florida, grew up in the New York City area, going up against the 35-year-old champion, Larry Holmes. Marv Albert with the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco, along with Dick Enberg from Reno, Nevada. And things beginning to get interesting. Carl Williams given very little chance at the champion, has hung in and has carried the fight to this point and has landed with a combination.
Larry tried to bounce like Ali and pop a jab off the bounce. Carl the Truth Williams brought him right down to his feet into reality with a good series.
Larry Holmes looking to that left eye of Williams. He has found a target, and he's looking to get the jab in on it.
Well, that's going to be his chance if they can stop this fight on a cut, because this kid shows no quit in him right now. He is on a causeway here. He knows where he's going. Oh, what a shot by Carl the Truth Williams that missed.
Coming up on a minute left in this 5th round.
If, as the experts speculate, this goes longer, it is to the disadvantage of Larry Holmes, who has not trained overly long for this. He's got a roll of fat around his midsection, and it should be in the favor of the younger man who has been diligently training for 6 weeks.
Depending on the severity of that cut by the eye, good combination by Holmes. And Williams able to answer. Oh, right hand by Williams. Looked like he hurt Holmes. Holmes trying to fight out of it.
Carl can't get careless now.
Williams complained he was hit on the top of the head by Holmes. So this heavyweight championship bout will continue on to round 6. Larry Holmes out for round number 6 to meet up with Carl Williams. Referee Mills Lane again complaining about the substance being used over the left eye of Williams. Went into the corner once again.
And look at that jab of Williams. Well, if it's approved by the commission and they're using approved substance, they can put in what they want. If it's approved, they just can't put in too much. The approval was given by the commission at the hearing, at the meeting of the weigh-in, and there are certain things you can't use and certain things you can. It's standard almost throughout the United States. And of course, they've got one of the best cut men in the world, Eddie Aliaga.
Tying up Williams, and Mills Lane able to step between.
Williams giving no respect whatsoever to Larry Holmes, out jabbing him and beating him with combinations. Right now, he's ahead on my unofficial scorecard, 49-46, and it is quite unofficial.
Scoring is on the 10-point must system, and the scoring handled by the 3 judges. Referee does not vote.
Important what just occurred. Mills Lane said, close your glove. Larry jabs with an open glove, which is what thumbs a fighter, as it already happened to Carl the Truth Williams. If he continues to do that, Lane can take away a point.
That was a slap by Williams on that last jab attempt. Carl Williams setting the pace right from the start by getting the left jab in square to the nose of Holmes, and he continues to land.
And you can tell the effectiveness of a jab by the way it drives the other fighter back. Drives his head back and takes any plans of immediate action out of his head. If it's a jab that misses, Larry can cross with the right hand. He has not been able to do that with any degree of success.
And that is what Holmes is looking to do. That time he grazed the chin. Here's Williams. He backed up Holmes. He was able to stun him.
Oddly enough, that's where he's most dangerous, because don't look at the corner, says the corner, as he looks right over there. Never take your eyes off your opponent.
Good right hand by Holmes as we come up to 10 seconds left in the round. But once again, a strong round for Carl the Truth Williams. Between rounds, Jake Holmes, the brother of Larry, in Larry's corner, telling him, you're waiting too long, let's get going. Of course, he said it in stronger terms.
Much more forceful as one brother can talk to the other. It's interesting that he talked through the whole through the whole round, but the main voice, Eddie Futch, the brains in that corner, didn't say a word. He'd be much better served if Eddie starts to give him a menu of options, because he is running out of trying to out-jab this young kid. Carl the Truth Williams cannot abandon his game plan. He is winning this fight with his game plan of the jab, crossing with the right in combinations, and then moving out of trouble.
And you have to figure that Carl the Truth Williams wants this fight to extend against the 35-year-old Larry Holmes, but Holmes knows one right hand could do it, particularly with the question about the chin of Carl Williams. In his last bout, James Tillis put him down twice in the first round, and then Williams did come back to win by decision.
Heavy jabs being traded. That's not good for Carl the Truth Williams. Here's the Holmes right hand about to come over.
But Holmes not able to connect.
What Williams has to do is jab when he sees that right hand about to come over and disconcert him, as he has done for the past 6 rounds. He almost has a radar about that right hand. When it looks like it's about to come, he flicks those jabs in there and stops Larry from throwing it.
Right hand followed by the left by Holmes. This is round 7, scheduled for 15.
Holmes is not really showing any signs of weariness yet. He is not showing any signs of rust. Here comes the right hand again. You can just see Larry cocking it. And that kid, Carl the Truth Williams, cannot stand in front of Larry.
And again, the blood flowing out of the left eye of Williams. Close your hands, shouts the referee Mills Lane.
Well, he's got to warn him that he's going to take a point away if he doesn't.
Oh, there's the right hand, and again by Holmes. Williams shakes his head no, as if to say it did hurt.
Well, he's going to shake his head all the way down to the canvas if he stands there and tests that, because Larry Holmes will put you away with that right hand.
And Williams answering the question we asked right at the start, would he be in awe of Larry Holmes, but continues to show great confidence.
Let's look at Larry Holmes as he throws that right hand twice. The Truth Williams shakes his head. It's nothing, but Larry keeps putting that right hand in. The Truth's got to keep moving.
So some schoolyard tactics from Carl Williams, who grew up in the New York City area, looking to bother Holmes. Continues to indicate that Holmes has had no effect on him with the right hand. Carl Williams very effective with the jab from the start. And so we are in round 8.
That last round was the first one I gave Larry Holmes since the third. It is now 68-65 in favor of Carl the Truth Williams, quite unofficially. I do not hesitate to remind you, but it does appear that Carl the Truth Williams is out-jabbing the champion, and as long as he moves and sticks to his game plan, he is winning the rounds. When he slows down and just watches Holmes, he's going to be looking at right hands bouncing off his chin.
We are 1 minute in. Round 8. Scoring is handled by 3 judges. Al Rothenberg of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Jerry Roth of Las Vegas. Paul Gibbs of Seattle. Referee Mills Lane does not score the bout. And it's on the 10-point must. And here is Holmes landing with the jab.
Carl the Truth Williams coming back with 2 jabs and a hook of his own. Crossed the right, which didn't land. But Holmes is picking up the pace, no question about it. He knows he can't stay here. Holmes going to work in pay dirt down below.
Again, the slap by Williams. I think Williams getting a little bit too cocky, or is that part of the game plan?
I think that's a little... Oh, is that out of a Popeye movie? Just the breeze shook Holmes. He's got to throw something. He cannot stand there. Holmes will let fly with the right hand. It looks to me as if Carl the Truth Williams, running on nervous energy and adrenaline, has reached this point and has run temporarily out of the enthusiasm they had before in the gas. He has not kept up that feverish pace that won him all the beginning rounds. He's doing all right, but he's slowing down. Holmes does not seem effective. He's a total pro that he is. He's just waiting for the time that he can knock him out.
So final seconds of this 8th round, and now Williams looking to step it up. We'll be back right after this message. Overhead, a look at that roundhouse attempt by Carl Williams, and we are on to round 9. Marv Albert with the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco, and Dick Enberg from Reno, Nevada. And Carl Williams, at least on our unofficial scorecard, with the edge over the champion, Larry Holmes, and continues to do it with the left jab.
He's 78-75, quite unofficially, but something ominous happened in the corner. He came back and he said, "I'm tired." Graziano said, "You're tired." He is more tired. Oh, a little forearm to the trachea there. And Larry said, "I didn't mean it." 2. Angelo Dundee always had a rule: never say tired in the corner. Just don't talk about it.
But Williams looking to get up on his toes once again.
That's what he should do. He's ahead of this fight, and he should be boxing and trying to let Larry exhaust himself to catch up. Those right-hand shots of Larry's are landing, and they will have effect in due time. You don't get hit by a man like Larry Holmes with right hands like that and not feel it.
Midway through round 9, scheduled for 15.
You know,
that's a pose. Come on, snap the photo.
That's a "you're tired and I'm tired. Let's take a little break here."
Holmes going to the body this round.
He's got to. He knows he's getting this kid tired. Carl the Truth Williams, if he keeps pounding his body, he's going to come down off his feet. Already he's not jabbing as much. Already he's not leading in this fight. He is letting Larry do the leading.
No, says Williams. Although Holmes can't connect.
He might say no to Larry Holmes, but the judges like those points. And Holmes now taking a shellacking to be able to land a couple of body shots. Larry working that body. This is vintage Larry Holmes now.
And a good right hand by Holmes, followed up by the left, as Williams took a respite. And Williams being pushed around the ring, but claiming it has no effect. So Holmes with his best of the bout, although Carl Williams continues to shake his head. We're going to stay right here between rounds.
That body shot at the end almost crumpled Carl the Truth Williams, but I'll tell you what, all of that effect on Larry Holmes can't be beneficial. Let's listen to the corner.
Don't give him nothing now, Paul. Just move, sit.
Where's the water?
With that fly. What is it, man? He's hurting. Carl, he thinks you're hurt. When you don't surprise him. All right, Big Jack. You're the boss out there. You're the boss. 48-0, Big Jack. Here we go, Big Jack. Deep breath. Okay.
Easily the most impressive round of the bout for Larry Holmes, while in the corner of Williams, Carmine Graziano said, Holmes thinks you're hurt, but you're not.
And Carl the Truth Williams said, you could have fooled me, because those body shots took a lot out of Carl the Truth Williams, but it remains to be seen how much that charge took out of Larry Holmes. Remember, we're down into the territory where Holmes is supposed to be getting awfully weary. And one of those charges like that takes a lot out of you.
Following on prime time boxing, local news will follow on the NBC network, except, of course, on the West Coast, where it will be seen in the normal time period. This is Marv Albert, Bertie Pacheco, Dick Enberg from Reno, Nevada. We are in round 10, scheduled for 15. You recall Carl Williams telling Dick Enberg that if this fight should go into the late rounds, the fight will be his. Meanwhile, Larry Holmes, who reportedly did not train severely, hanging in very well for a 35-year-old.
And what they're doing right now is taking a rest. Holmes very weary from that thumping that he tried to give Williams. Williams trying to get over that body punishment that he took. He's just dancing away, willing to give up a round if necessary, although right now he has been dancing and popping a jab. Comment should be made into the favor of Eddie Aliano, the expert cornerman who has closed that cut so that it is not a factor in this fight. Once again, proving you've got to have good cornermen if you're going to fight for the championship.
And we are staying with the wide shot here so you can check out the legs, particularly of Larry Holmes, as we enter the late rounds.
Well, it's never been more evident than this and in this round, because Carla Truth Williams has been bouncing along like a little tennis ball, and with sodden legs, Holmes has come forth, not trying to catch him particularly. Now it's the first bounce you've seen. He has just been resting.
In Holmes' last fight this past March, he did go 10, stopping David Bay in the 10th. In fact, put Bay down twice in the 8th round.
Incredible that Carla Truth Williams should stop moving right at the end of every round and let Larry get brave.
And Carl Williams has never gone beyond 10 as we head to 11. Nice counter by Williams, doing it with the hook.
There's been so little action in this fight that that little exchange could win the whole round for Williams. Inexorably, he's building up a lead. Oh, Larry just gave him laces all over the face.
We'll be back with round 11 in a moment.
Right. All day. All day, Big Jack. All day. Grease, man. All day. It is. All day we do.
Take a look at the before and after Carl the Truth Williams. As this fight has progressed, you can see that left eye. They did effectively close it up, but from time to time, blood has come down. Larry Holmes virtually unmarked. We had no knockdowns to this point. It has been the jab of Carl Williams setting the early pace. Holmes showing some signs the last couple of rounds.
But we are down the championship causeway, what Ali like to call the championship causeway. Those last 5 rounds is when a champion comes out. Remember, Carla Truth Williams has never fought past 10. And this is old stuff for Holmes. He's patient. He's waiting for this kid to make his mistake. So far, he hasn't made one.
Just underway, round 11. Carl Williams, 25 years old, born in West Palm Beach, Florida. Now makes his home in White Plains, New York, 16-0, 12 by knockout. While Larry Holmes chasing the perfection of Rocky Marciano at 47-0, 34 by KO. Marciano at 49-0, and every so often between rounds, Holmes is reminded, let's make it 48-0.
Holmes' left eye is now closing all of a sudden. It's just ballooned up. He might have caught a thumb, although he did not complain about it. It is just closing up. It, of course, has to be a product of those many, many, many jabs that have landed all night long. He hasn't exactly. That eye has been catching them all.
Both of you, get those hands closed. Come on, come on.
All right, instructional advice from the referee, Mills Lane. Oh, there's a right hand followed up by Holmes, and again Carl Williams says no.
No measuring him for the right hand, but can't trigger it off. Holmes has taken his first big sigh.
Under a minute left, round 11. Now blood is pouring down from the left eye of Carl Williams. It has not bothered him. And Williams now talking to Holmes.
He said, "What's the matter, champ?" Holmes does not feel like talking. Smart move on the part of Carl the Truth Williams. He's got this round won. All he's got to do is waltz around now.
Coming up, final seconds, 11th round. Is this an upset in the making, or will Holmes, the champion, get to the challenger, Carl Williams? We'll be back with the 12th in a moment. Of Larry Holmes.
Right, you the big jack. Big jack.
End swell being used, that cold iron, to open the eye of Larry Holmes, which is rapidly closing into a slit. And this reminds us of yesterday in San Juan, where a great champion overwhelmed the judges on reputation.
At the Rocky Lockridge bout with Wilfredo Gomez, with Gomez winning a controversial decision over Lockridge in a fight televised here on NBC. It is on to round 12, scheduled for 15. You get the idea. Holmes looking to pick it up. A sense of urgency.
I think his corner has told him, "You may be losing this, champ. You better pick it up now." And this is the part where Holmes has saved the day many occasions. He's hoping to do it once again. Will those old tired legs carry him to it, and will that right hand be able to neutralize the jab of Carl Williams? We shall see.
Oh, there's a good left hand, but again, Williams shaking his head. Remember, Holmes has had several adventures. The bout with Tim Witherspoon, Bone Crusher Smith, Ronaldo Snipes, earlier in his career, Ernie Shavers, Mike Weaver, as Holmes took the thumb from Weaver and was in trouble.
Williams making a mistake of not firing that jab now. Making an amateurish mistake of thinking he's got this fight won and not wanting to work for the rest of it. He better.
And Williams' corner saying, go with the right hand over the top to follow that jab.
Williams getting cocky as he blocks those Holmes jabs. And he's playing cutesy with Holmes. You can't do that. Holmes will pop you with that right hand.
Combinations thrown by Holmes have had little effect on Carl Williams.
Carl talking to the champion, taunting him, saying, "You can't do anything to me, and those don't hurt." But in the meantime, that didn't help the judges. He's got to get on in action and take that round.
Less than a minute left.
Holmes doing better this round than he's done in the last 2 or 3. Mainly due to the inaction of Carl the Truth Williams, who has chose this round to rest. My advice after yesterday's fight, don't rest any rounds. Don't take anything for granted. Keep fighting till the bell ends the fight at the 50.
As Rocky Lockridge discovered against Wilfredo Gomez. As you can see, coming up on 20 seconds left in this 12th round.
Another thumb, and Williams took time out to complain. Larry answered with 2 thumping shots to the body.
Hand closed.
Again,
Come on.
Mills Lane saying keep those gloves closed. All right, Ferdy, a look at the thumbing back in the 12th round.
Both these guys have been keeping their glove open, and you can see right there the effect of it.
Oh, don't wipe it. Don't wipe it.
His eye is closed. Carl the Truth Williams' eye has been closed by that thumb. Well, yet again, a strong argument for thumbless gloves.
And this is round 13. And there has to be a sense of desperation now on the part of the champion, Larry Holmes. What does your scorecard show?
He's 3 points behind, 116 to 113, and he's got 3 rounds to pull it out in. Remember, if it's a draw, he keeps the title. If he wins these 3 rounds, and remember, the judges also give an awful lot of credit to a champion of his capacity and reputation. So it may be some of those close rounds went to Holmes on reputation.
And Carl the Truth Williams has won himself some support here in Reno. The chant of the truth from the crowd. Again, Holmes taking aim at the left eye of Williams. But Williams continues to get in close on Holmes to smother those right-hand attempts.
He'd do better to stay out and pop that jab as he's been doing. Why he's abandoned it the last 2 or 3 rounds, I'll never know, because it got him this far, and he's ahead because of that jab.
And here's Holmes cocking the right, looking to throw it.
There's no question that Holmes is desperate. He's got to come on. He senses he's behind. He is. He's got to pull us out in these 3 rounds.
And Williams on his toes. And Holmes pursuing, but looking fatigued.
Yeah, he's dragging his feet. Holmes is not picking up and putting down his feet in the right way. That's what he's got to do. Carl the Truth Williams got to move and pop, and Larry Holmes, the champion, has got to cut him off and pound the body. Meantime, the time flies.
Under a minute left in this 13th round. Continues to circle.
He's doing a modified Ali. He's frustrating Holmes. Holmes should know how to handle that. He's been a sparring partner for Ali a long time. Holmes almost tripping over his own feet. He is weary.
Still 20 seconds to go, or rather 10 seconds in this 13th round, and still 2 rounds to go. But right here, we do have an upset in the making with Carl Williams handling Larry Holmes. Taking a look back as we look at some of the great upsets in heavyweight history, Dempsey and Tunney. Max Baer, James J. Braddock back in 1935 in Long Island City. Braddock defeating Baer in a 15-round unanimous decision to take the title. Ingemar Johansson, Floyd Patterson, June of 1959. Johansson over Patterson with a KO in the 3rd round. Of course, Sonny Liston and the then Cassius Clay, Miami Beach, February of 1964. Clay defeating Liston with the TKO and Muhammad Ali and Leon Spinks. The one bout that can be compared to what is taking place here today, because Spinks with very little experience. But of course, right here, we still have 2 rounds remaining. For round 14, Larry Holmes defending his heavyweight championship, trying to make it 48-0 against Carl Williams, who is coming out strong and connecting with the jab. A hand on the rope by Holmes. Signs of weariness, fatigue, and confusion. Holmes, a great champion, has he stayed on too long. Well, he's going to need a Marciano finish here. Marciano way behind, as we saw with Walker, put him away in round 15. Can he do that to this kid? And the crowd getting behind Carl Williams. Larry Holmes seeking that one big right hand. Halfway through round 14. The last time that Larry Holmes went 15 was back in November of '82 when he laid the beating on Randy Tex Cobb. Look at the puffed up face of Holmes.
Both of them have puffed up eyes. Holmes trying to go to pay dirt in the body. He knows you hurt him there before, but Carl the Truth Williams just won't stay there to get pummeled. He keeps moving. He's almost moving with the grace of an Ali right now, just gliding over the floor.
Holmes grazing him with the right hand.
Oh, that could be dangerous. Back comes Carl the Truth.
Under a minute left in this 14th round.
You got to give Larry Holmes credit. He's trying with every fiber in his body to get that knockout. He will not quit. He will not admit defeat. And we do not know whether the judges will see it as we are looking at it right now. Carl the Truth Williams is ahead on our card.
Good counter by Holmes. He may have hurt Williams, although Williams said no, but he will be able to rest here as this round comes to a close. He did hurt Williams. And we will stay right here. A bout that many did not think would go past the early rounds. We'll go to a 15th and final round.
Just take a look at these. One round to go, champ. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Hey, Big Jack. Watch that. Determination. That's the word.
Paul, you don't let it happen. Paul, this is the guy that wants to walk the hook. Go on, walk the hook. You're the man with something. Let's go.
Let's take a look back to the final seconds of the 14th round. The short right hand, it rocked Williams. Again, Williams indicating that he was all right. Here's a look from up top. And he did hurt the Truth.
Had that happened with a minute left to go, it might be all over now.
15th and final round for the heavyweight championship of the world. Holmes actually stumbling out as he meets up with Williams here at the center of the ring. Carl the Truth Williams looking to wrest the crown from the longtime champion Larry Holmes.
Well, we better take this round because this fight is up for grabs. It's 143 to 144. Larry Holmes winning the last 3 rounds.
That is the unofficial count on the Fight Doctor scorecard. Williams doing the 360.
He's getting too cute.
And here's Holmes looking to take charge, looking to rally.
It's the mark of a champion that you pull it out in the 15th. Right now, it's Larry Holmes doing the champion number. How curious that Carl the Truth Williams doesn't see fit to attack Larry Holmes to take this heavyweight title, which means millions of dollars.
We are a minute 15 in. 15th final round.
Larry wide open for a right hand, so tired, but pulling it up from someplace to fight a tough 15th round.
Holmes doing most of the punching here in this 15th round. Now Williams snapping the jab as Holmes countered. And we approach a minute left in the fight.
He must think he's got this fight won and he can just while away this last round. Carl the Truth Williams has not done the fighting that he has to do to take the championship from Larry Holmes.
left in the fight. And this will be a very tough one to score. It's on the 10-point must, handled by the 3 judges, if it does go the distance. You see the clock working its way to the 3-minute mark. 2 exhausted fighters. Coming up on 20 seconds remaining in the bout. Holmes will win this round. He's doing the boxing.
And if he does, he just may rescue his title and get a draw.
Final seconds, 15th and final round, and we'll go to a decision. Is it Carl "The Truth" Williams pulling off the upset to win the championship? Larry Holmes looking very dejected, but you never know. It is in the hands of the 3 judges. Let's go upstairs to Dick Enberg.
Now the question, and how tough the decision will be. Those judges at ringside, remember the referee does not cast a ballot. 3 judges will score it. And traditionally, to beat the champion, to take the title away on a decision, you have to be much the best. Was Carl "The Truth" Williams that much better than rallying Larry Holmes tonight? One thing is for certain, win or lose, the champion Holmes met a good match tonight, and Carl "The Truth" Williams, relatively untested and inexperienced, proved tonight that, for one, he has a major league jab, and is a young man possessive of tremendous talent, raw talent, and certainly one that has a most promising future, maybe as the champion. They're totaling the cards at ringside. Is it the challenger an upset, or does the champion hold on? The moment of truth from Reno, Nevada. The decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Lawler Event Center here in Reno, Nevada, we have a unanimous decision. And the scoring by points as follows. Judge Paul Gibbs of Seattle, Washington, observed the fight 146-139. Judge Jerry Ruff of Las Vegas has it 143-142. And Judge Al Rothenberg of Virginia Beach, Virginia, scores it 146-139 for the winner. And still, the International Boxing Federation and only recognized heavyweight champion, Larry Holmes.
Number 48 was not as easy as Holmes had thought, but he remains the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world. Let's go down to ringside and Freddie Pacheco.
Jeff, you can't have a tougher night than that.
Well, Freddie, these young guys are really game. This guy here is big, got a hard left jab. He's very game.
You seem to have pulled it out in the last 4 rounds by your concerted attack in your champion's heart.
Well, that's what championship is all about. A champion is to fight until no more bells. And I did that. The young man was strong. He's going to give a lot of fighters a lot of trouble if he cleans up his act.
Do you still think that you want to go for Marciano's record, or is a night like this going to make you do some serious thinking?
Well, every fight you do serious thinking. But we always take one step at a time. Right now, I'm going to heal my eyes, go home with my family, not take any more crash programs, and just wait and see what happens. This man was waiting in the wings with Marvin Frazier. He's been training for months, and I took it on a 3-week notice. And it's hard to get up for a young man when you're always in negotiating, to on a negotiating table and always doing your business. It's so hard. So we have to take a good look and see exactly what we're going to do. take a rest. This is my third fight since November, and it shows that I'm a fighting champion, and I give all young people the opportunity.
And you should get a well-deserved rest. Go home, think about it. I'm sure all America wishes you the best.
And I want to say this before we close. Hi to my mom and hi to all my friends back home at Easton and John Henry's. And again, NBC scored another knockout.
And back to Marv Albert, who is waiting to talk to Carl the Truth Williams.
All right, Ferdy, and in the Carl the Truth Williams corner, they're claiming that you are the uncrowned champion. What is your feeling about the decision?
Well, basically, Marv, that's something that I've always been saying, that I am the uncrowned king and the young heir to the throne, and I'm the baddest heavyweight in all the land. Yes, I am.
How do you figure the decision?
It was close.
You think he won?
Yes, I do. I think the least I could have got was a draw. I fought a hell of a fight. You know.
You were giving the impression that you were not hurt, but I thought in the final rounds he did rock you a couple of times, although you were shaking your head no.
No, I wasn't really hurt, Marv. I basically just walked it off. You know, it was a hell of a fight. I wasn't really hurt. The champ didn't really hurt me because working with Carmen Graziano, I was basically working the blocking overhand punch, which you've seen a lot. The right hand never got in. Early in the round, he landed some right hands, but after that, I was blocking everything that was basically thrown.
All right, a good effort, though, by the challenger, Carl the Truth Williams, although Larry Holmes has won the heavyweight championship of the world. Let's go back to Dick Enberg.
So Carl the Truth Williams vaults high up on the heavyweight ladder with his performance tonight, although a unanimous loser to the still unbeaten champion Larry Holmes. 48 in a row for Holmes, who certainly weathered through a tough 15 rounds. He isn't the fighter that beat Ali or Norton or Shaver. Some say he's picking easy wins. He almost gambled and lost tonight against a tough young man in Williams. But the measure of the champion indeed is in the heart, and Larry Holmes rallied to retain his title. He's still the heavyweight champion of the world.